Flashforge have very kindly sent me this box of assorted filaments and the Flashforge Adventurer 5M Pro 3D printer to do a video review on. I've been sent these for free, but I'm not being paid to do this review. It's a quick bit of unboxing, and this really was a very simple unboxing. There's virtually no setup at all with this. A lot of the materials and things are packaged inside the printer, including this spool of test filament. This is Flashforge High Speed PLA in this amazing burnt titanium colour. UK plug, which is always good, and a nice little toolkit. And there's also the filament spool holder in there. That simply screws onto the back. Nice easy job. In with the mains lead. You can see there's an Ethernet port on the back there as well. And we'll start off by using the test filament. So just clipping it off using the supplied clippers. And then feed it into the machine. So inside you'll see these 4 little stickers. They indicate some retaining screws to stop anything shifting in transit. These must be removed before you do anything. Using one of the supplied Allen keys, I unscrewed all of these. There we are, that's what they look like, and there should be 4. Also in the kit came this 0.6mm nozzle, and this is a hardened steel nozzle, and it is specially for technical filaments such as the carbon fibre filaments. And the beauty of this machine is it really is that easy to change the filaments. You just press 2 buttons. This is the build plate with nice retaining lugs at the back, making it very simple to position it back into the correct place. It just slides in and it's magnetic. So booting up the device, and it does a series of bed leveling and vibration calibration. Just takes a few minutes as it runs through, but it's all self-explanatory, it's all on the screen. I'm then loading the new filament in. You can see they've obviously had some test filament through this, that red coloured filament that's being extruded. And they also supply this very good quality bed adhesion glue. This was extremely effective, I found. It then leads you on to print this test block. Well, this is just a way of testing that the printer's working correctly. You can see on the screen the bed and nozzle temperatures are there. And here we are printing. And it really is very, very fast. I was very impressed with both the speed and how quiet it is. All these printers make a certain amount of noise, but this was fairly well controlled. There it is, printing away. And the print's done. So let's have a look at our little test block. Very useful having the enclosed printer up in my attic especially. It's a very nice build plate, this one, and the print has come out incredibly well. That is a very clean block, very smooth sides, very impressive. It then guides you through setting up the Wi-Fi, and then we're going to print something else. And included on the machine is this test Benchy. This is a 14-minute Benchy. It's not a standard Benchy, it's a modified one, but even so, very, very impressive speed. And also very impressive quality as well. It printed out absolutely amazingly well. As you can see, there's a few differences to the standard Benchy, but it's still got the same overhangs and bridging and things like that. Time to print one of my models. This is a print in place articulated Catfish that I designed. You can find this on printables if you want to download it and print it yourself. So I've put this into Orca slicer, and I'm slicing it and then sending the G-code to the printer via Wi-Fi. And there he is, all printed out. Again in that burnt titanium filament, which really suits this model. It's come out really well. There you go, straight off the build plate, fully articulated. So it shows the tolerances are very, very tight on this. Very good. All the joints move, which is great. And at the time I was filming this, it was just before Halloween, so this is another one of my designs. This was from an actual pumpkin I scanned and then digitally carved the face. So I'm slicing this. I'm using tree supports here, but as you'll see, the final print wasn't with tree supports. I did standard supports, and this is using their PLA Pro in orange. And this was very nice filament. It printed really well. So I'm using the change filament settings. You can see it's extruding out the old and in with the new. And if you use flash print, you can actually view the print being done via the little enclosed camera, just to keep an eye on it. Very useful as my printers are up in the attic. There it is, the finished print. And as you can see, this has got the standard supports rather than the tree supports, which didn't work on this print. Just pop it off the build plate. The supports took a little bit of removing, but they did come off. But the quality of this is fantastic. Really nice finish on this print. Lovely texture. My daughter was very pleased with her new pumpkin. Still got a few supports on the bottom there I need to remove. But very happy with that. There he is. Then we're going to use some Benchy Pro that they sent me. Another one of my models. Sort of a stylised skull. This is one I designed. There it is sliced. And we're now using Flashforge Orca. So I can send the model directly to the printer from Flashforge Orca. And you can also view your print in progress using the camera. And there he is. And that came out very nicely as well, considering it's Benchy. It printed it very fast as well. This was a test model I did, which is actually a basket weave tube, but it's covered in support material, which was a mistake. Now we're on to another filament. This is burnt titanium again, but this is an ASA filament. And I printed out this plaque. This was with my logo on. And it printed it out very nicely, although it's got quite a matte finish, which I suspect is down to the sparkles within the filament. This is a prototype I'm working on, which I am also going to print out in the ASA, burnt titanium. And there it is. This could be sanded and vapor smoothed, which would reveal the burnt titanium colour and pattern better, but I actually needed this slightly rough for the project I was doing. And this is another part of the prototype, and for this I'm using this really clever flexible filament from Flashforge in blue. And there's the finished result. That was an amazingly smooth print, flawless, and very intriguing material. This, it's not TPU, but it behaves like a TPU. Following on from the success of that, I thought I'd print a standard Benchy in the flexible material. And there it is. Far from perfect. I need to tweak the settings. I think you need to slow this print up quite a lot. But it's not bad. And it's certainly very bendy. There we are. I need to experiment with the settings just to get this a bit better. Time to change to that 0.6 nozzle and try the Benchy CF, the carbon fibre filament. Here we are, just loading that, and you can see test filament was extruded ahead of it. These are some little shapes I've designed to make markers for 3D scanning. They will have marker dots stuck to them eventually. So there they are in Flashforge Orca, and there they are printed out in the carbon fibre filament. Not bad at all. Gives a slightly matte finish for these ones. Some models seem to be more matte than others, but they came out very nicely and perfect for markers. I've been working on these geometric designs. This is Shaper 3D software, and you can visualize things with different colors. So I printed one of these shapes. This is a slightly more rounded version, and I'm printing this in the carbon fibre filament, the Benchy CF. There it's printing away using tree supports. This came out amazingly well. The tree supports all pulled off very easily. Then there's this pyramid structure, tetrahedron, and this printed out incredibly cleanly. Really smooth print. I was absolutely delighted with that. But that was another design I did in Shaper 3D. Hello folks, I'm up here in my rather chilly attic workspace where I do all my 3D printing. I hope there's not too much background noise. I've got several things on the go. Resin 3D printer, and I've also got the main event, which is the Flashforge Adventurer 5M Pro, chugging away next to me here. I've also got a curing machine running at the moment as well. But so I hope it's not too noisy. It is a remarkable machine. You can hear it whirring away in the background there. I think this is about as close as you can get to a plug and play 3D printer. Incredibly capable, amazing value for money. I have been very, very impressed with it. It's a Core XY, it is incredibly fast, and it produces very nice prints. Exceptionally smooth prints, and I've tried it with lots of different filaments and had a lot of success with it. I particularly like the sample filament they sent with it. I've printed one of my own designs, this print in place articulated Catfish, and this filament is just gorgeous, absolutely amazing. This is the what's it called? Yeah, this is the burnt titanium filament, and it is just lovely, really nice. Another one of my designs. I've been doing these geometric designs as well. They're quite tricky to do on in software. You have to use a bit of maths and everything, but they come out very well. I've done a whole series of these. I've tried it with numerous filaments. Done a few Halloween prints. This is Benchy, and I think it's the Benchy Pro, this one, and that came out very, very nicely. I also printed this basket weave pattern I'd come up with as a test print. Shouldn't have printed it with supports, very difficult to remove the supports. This is the flexible PLA filament. I think it's PLA, it's their new flexible filament. It's not a TPU, it's something else. I think it is a flexible PLA, but very, very bouncy. This wasn't a particularly good print. I obviously, for something as intricate as this, it's not really great for flexible filaments and TPU and things, because there's too much pull on the extruder. You'd have to slow it right up to get this as a neat print, but it is incredibly bouncy. Very impressed. And yep, it's bouncy. It took a few takes. What a muppet. So I've been messing about, as I say, with some geometric designs. Here's a sort of a soccer ball, football, which is a truncated icosahedron, I think is the official title of that. And that was done in the carbon fibre PETG, the PETG CF. And that is printed really nicely, and it is so strong, really strong. There we are, tetrahedron, sort of pyramid that I did. I designed all these in Shaper 3D. And this is an icosahedron, which I also designed in Shaper 3D. And that is done in the PETG CF. Really, really nice. Very, very impressed with this stuff. Well, you can hear it working away here. And it's not too noisy, but you wouldn't want it running in your bedroom next to you. All high-speed printers are relatively noisy. Just by the nature of them, the head is moving fast, they need a lot of fans to cool them. Being enclosed is very useful, especially it keeps the noise down, but up here in my cold workspace you need an enclosure or an enclosed printer. But the performance on this is amazing, really. Absolutely incredible. It handles vibration very well. I've actually been using tree supports a lot, which is something I've been a bit hit and miss with on other printers, especially bed slingers. They get a bit fine, the tree supports, and they often fall away or shift, whereas they work very, very well on this one, which I think, like I say, is down to the fact that vibration is quite well controlled. Yeah, I have to say, very impressed, and it is certainly suitable for beginners. It's not all been plain sailing. I've been using the Flashforge Orca. It's their version of Orca, and that is a brilliant bit of software, and you can actually link to the printer via Wi-Fi using that now. Originally it couldn't, but now with all the updates you can link to Flashforge Orca via Wi-Fi and print direct from the slicer. But it's a little bit unstable. It doesn't always want to connect, and several times I resorted to loading the G-code onto the included memory stick and putting that into the printer and printing from that. I don't know if it might be our home Wi-Fi that's at fault, but it was a little bit hit and miss. And the other problem I had with it was the filament run-out sensor just kept telling me on certain prints that the filament was out, and it wasn't, so it stopped the print, which is a bit frustrating. So I actually turned the filament sensor off in the end, and it stopped all that. It's certain filaments it seemed to do it with. The worst one was the TPU, which is sort of a translucent grey colour, and it's very, very shiny. And I don't know if it's an optical sensor, but I really couldn't get that to print with the filament sensor on. So I'm going to have to do some reprinting with that. The bits it did print were really nice. That TPU came out very, very nicely. Having turned off the filament sensor, I decided to print something else. This is a model I designed for my son. It's meant for resin printing for a miniature he's designing, but I thought I'd give it a go trying to print it in TPU. And here it is. Anyone who's printed TPU will know that all this support structure is a nightmare. And yes, the ball printed well, but the chain disintegrated on trying to remove the supports. There's the handle and the chain. Didn't want to waste it, so I cut all the points off, and I thought I'd get my staffy to test the layer adhesion. And yes, I can confirm the layer adhesion is very good. She was very impressed with it. Yeah, it's been a good machine. very happy to recommend that. Very good value for money with the features that it's got included, you know, being a Core XY, very fast, nice touch screen on it. All in all, a brilliant bit of kit. And thank you very much to Flashforge for sending it to me. I'll be back soon with some more videos. Here's a closer look at a few of the many models I've printed on this printer. There's a closer look at that soccer ball thing I did. You can see it's got quite an unusual texture on the surface of that, almost looks woven. That's an icosahedron that I designed. Half a sort of soccer ball thing, and that's in the PLA filament. Another look at the Catfish when it focuses. There we go. And of course the little Benchy. Lovely clean print. Last but not least, Scully in the Benchy. You can see his eyes follow you as you turn it. Many thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to check out the links in the video description. I'll be back soon with some more videos.